Everyone, Chenny here. Before we get started, one of the things that we love to do at SheEO is we like to open with a land acknowledgement. It's a really important practice to us as an act towards reconciliation. So without further ado, I'd actually love to invite an activator of SheEO, Lisa Burcharts, for today's land acknowledgement. Lisa, if you're here, I believe you may be on mute. Okay, no worries. 1 second. I'm going to pull a backup one up right now. Give me 2 shakes. How's everyone doing today?
Great.
Awesome. Okay, here we go. So I reside in Toronto. So I'm going to read out an acknowledgement for my territory. I encourage you to look it up for your own territory so you can familiarize yourself with the correct verbiage. So for Toronto, Toronto is known as the dish with one spoon territory. And I really love this because the dish with one spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, the Mississaugas, and the Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. Subsequent Indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. What I really love about this is it talks about how Toronto is essentially a very vast land with endless resources, but there's only one spoon and we must learn how to share it so that we can sustain the resources that we have on this land. So yeah, that is our opener today. 1 second, let me just get back right into it. Okay, so as mentioned, my name is Chenny. I'm a co-founder of Got Care, a venture, a Canadian venture, a SheEO venture. I'm also an activator, and what SheEO means to me is it is a place where I can fully show up, both as an entrepreneur and as an individual, and I can find kinship and community and support regardless of whatever issue I'm facing. It's a really powerful community of thousands and thousands of women around the globe, and I love these calls because it's a great opportunity for us to all connect with each other. So for today's call, what we're going to do is we're going to provide a brief overview of what the SheEO community is for the guests who are with us today. If you are a guest, if you want to just quickly wave your hand so we can see you. Hello, welcome. Feel free to quickly introduce yourself in the chat so others can say hello. These public calls occur once a month and are an opportunity for activators to also invite guests and people who are new to SheEO to learn. So our weekly activator calls do follow a different format. So if you are a regular activator, you may notice that this flow of this call is a little different. And if you would like to invite a friend to the next event, please check out the calendar on the SheEO community page to figure out when the next global call is as well. So today, we're going to quickly hear from Vicky, and then we're going to actually hear from a SheEO venture and an activator. We're going to do our breakout groups for our Ask Give format, which I'll provide a bit more context later. And then we're going to come back into this main room for a quick reflection before we close. So to kick us off, one of the things we love to do is just to check in as a group in terms of how we are doing, how we are feeling right now. So Caitlin's gonna pop a link into the chat. In case you aren't sure where the chat is, it's the bottom toolbar. It's around the middle. It should say mute, video, participants, chat. So hit on that. There should be a link there. And again, the prompt is, how are you doing and how are you feeling right now? Aw, some love. I love it. Excitement, a bit of anxiousness as well. Ooh, visionary, tornado. Oh, I love the polarities that are showing up that we are all holding. Definitely resonates with the times in terms of the seasons and some major events happening in the world right now. Anticipation, But overall, it looks like we are all excited. So that's great. Well, hopefully we can address some of the anxiety and frustration by inspiring everyone here with the folks who are going to be sharing some of their stories today. Okay, so a quick reminder for those who just joined, please remember to update your Zoom name to include an indicator as to if you're an activator, a venture, and guest, and also the country that you're visiting from. So as an example, I'm a venture and an activator, so I have VA, and then CA for Canada, and then my name. Okay, so without further ado, I'm gonna pass it over to Vicki Saunders, the founder of SheEO.
Hello, everybody. Really, really happy to be here today. I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview on SheEO, and then we'll continue on with the agenda. So welcome to people that have not been on a SheEO call before. We have a rapid experience that we're going to squish into an hour today. I want to just start with the why. Why are we here? And there's so many reasons for me underneath this, but the big one right now today is we need to imagine and then execute a whole new vision for a world that works for everyone. I have this mantra that I've been saying since 2014 when it was one of the chapters of my book called Everything is Broken. What a great time to be alive. And this is what I live by all the time. It's a growth mindset summary. Every time I look out the window, everywhere I look in the world, the challenges we're facing are so painful. The way that we do things is not working. We need to rethink everything. And the rules in particular for women are really stacked against us, which we all know. But the classic example that I love to use, because it's just like impossible, 51% of the population gets 2.2% of the funding. And this is for white women. If you're a Black woman entrepreneur, it's 0.006. If you're an Indigenous woman entrepreneur, it's not even a statistic. This is not possible statistically. In all the analysis that you do with your math class, this can't happen unless there's massive structures and bias structures and systems that were designed to not work for us. And so we have to really shift them. And so SheEO is our answer to dramatically transform that. We are a whole new playing field. We're not trying to level any playing field, not trying to create any equality here. We're trying to create equitable systems that work for everyone. And this is a little bit about our brand and what we're doing here. If you go to the bottom of this slide, everything we do comes from a place of abundance. We believe that we have everything that we need when we come together to solve the world's challenges. And the underlying operating system at SheEO is this concept of radical generosity, not just basic generosity, but radical generosity, a practice that we show up with, and we're here to help everyone. And so we believe that the conditions change dramatically when we're radically generous with each other. The purpose here is to activate the change agent inside every single one of us, because we all have something to contribute. We believe everyone, no matter what age or stage you're at, you have something to contribute to creating the kind of world that you would like to live in. And it's all hands on deck at the moment. So our first goal at SheEO is to build a $1 billion perpetual fund, 1 million activators, women who contribute capital, showing up to create this perpetual fund that we will leave as a legacy on the planet to fund women entrepreneurs, women identifying entrepreneurs who are working on the world's to-do list. And the amazing women you see in front of you are our Canadian and US, you can see Chenny in there, Canadian and US ventures from last year. One thing to note, we never ever use any stock photos at SheEO. Every picture that you see is a real woman, believe it or not. We don't have to have stock photos. We have like a community full of thousands of awesome women. So here's how the model works quickly. We contribute $92 a month or 71 pounds a month. So that equivalent in each country that you're in. We're in Canada, the US, New Zealand, Australia, and the UK. That money is pooled together and loaned out at 0% interest. And to ventures that are working on the world's to-do list, it's paid back over 5 years into the fund and loaned out again. And I want to just say a word here about how we think about money in this community. We look at money as a renewable resource. Thank you to Moira Ware from Australia who gave me this metaphor. When we look at how we're using energy and money right now, it's like we treat it like it's coal. We burn through it If you see Quibi that raised $1.7 billion and burnt it down after 6 months, ridiculous. We just flush this money over and over, trying to find a unicorn and get some huge return for the 6 people who invested in it. At SheEO, we look at putting money out into the ecosystem like it's solar power, a renewable resource. It's loaned out, paid back, loaned out again, and it just keeps rolling forward for the benefit of all of us, to those who need it most, who have great ideas. The great ideas are focused on the world's to-do list. So if you don't know the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, there are 17 of them. All governments in the world have signed on to them. And each one of our ventures is able to state 1 or 2 goals that they're working on with their business. This model has been proven. We're going into our 6th year since we started. We have over 5,000 activators globally. We've funded 73 ventures. If you're trying to keep notes or anything, don't worry about it. We'll send you the deck after. So we have a portfolio of 73 women-led ventures working on the world's to-do list in 5 countries, $5 million flowing out there. And by Q1 of next year, we'll have about 93 ventures in our portfolio based on our growth at the moment. So it's just awesome. Continue to grow. And this model has about 70 countries that have reached out to replicate it. So big pipeline, really big ambitious dreams here, and super practical. Day by day, we're creating an impact with our contribution. Your money goes to, 90% of it goes into the fund. 10% goes to our operations and keeping the ecosystem going. It's a little out of whack right now. It's so crazy how much we're delivering in the activator experience compared to pre-COVID. Since COVID, we started doing weekly calls. So you can join in any of these calls. We're doing them in each country, and sometimes we go on a road trip to other countries. New Zealand meets the US, Australia meets Canada. We're traveling all over. We have an online community where you can find everybody, tons of resources for activators to find each other, to support each other, and to find the ventures and support them. One of the things I want to say is it's a bit different here. There is no right way to be an activator. There is no right way to grow your business as a venture. Everything here is on your own terms. We trust one another. We trust entrepreneurs to take the capital that comes from us, use it wisely to create deep impact. And we trust activators to put in whatever amount of effort and radical generosity that they want to in this community. If you're super busy at work, that's completely fine. If you're super busy at home, that's completely fine. You do not need to come onto these calls. Every contribution is helping make the whole thing work. So it's completely up to you. And I need to say this over and over to myself and others. There's no guilt here, none, no guilt. Shed all that old thinking. Anything that you contribute here is a bonus. And so keep that in mind, that if you think, oh, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have the time, that's fine too. You can show up whenever you can. Because of this incredible portfolio of ventures that women have selected, so everybody at SheEO contributes money, votes on which ventures get selected. We trust the intuition of hundreds of women in each country. We had 4 of our ventures on the Inc. 100 list, and 2 semifinalists and 1 activator. So if you look at lists of women entrepreneurs that are doing great things around the world, you're bound to see SheEO ventures on it. The impact that we're all collectively having is just incredible. And back to you, Jenny.
Thanks, Vicki. For those of you who just heard that for the first time, just take a hot second and let that settle in. 0% interest, perpetual fund. Yes, it is real, people. I can attest to this. Okay, so now I'd love to invite Patrice Morceau, the founder of SheEO Canadian venture Satya.
So close.
Sorry, Patrice. Can you share how to pronounce your last name?
Yes, moose, like the animal. Moose,
okay.
moose. Oh.
Moose. Oh.
Yeah.
Moose. Oh. Okay. Cool. Got it. I find out when you associate, visual with. Anyway, you remember. Okay.
There you go.
Thanks, Patrice. And so
My
Patrice
pleasure.
is going to share her story today and talk a little bit about the impact that her venture has made.
Yes. So I'm a venture. I'm an activator. I'm also an Indigenous woman. I am Ojibwe. I am a single mom, and I am a first-time business owner. And I ended up creating something for my daughter in my kitchen crock pot. that ended up becoming, it's an alternative for steroids, and it's approved by Health Canada, and it's certified organic, and it works. Beautiful, and cleared my daughter's eczema up in like 2 days. So you would think that finding an alternative to steroids would have people lined up to give me money. And that of course was not the case. And even if they were lined up, do I really want to take money from an organization that's not values aligned to me? So from my crock pot to where I am now, which is exporting to 3 different countries and over 900 stores here in Canada, and that was a very short period of time. I think we did it in about 4 or 5 years. None of that would have been possible without SheEO. With SheEO, I mean, I have a personal relationship now with the export minister, the Minister of Small Business, Mary Ng. I was able to hold Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to account on stage and then have a personal meeting with him afterwards because of SheEO. The connections I've made to Indigo and a ton of other stores, the media coverage, just the sheer growth of my company. I think it's been about 70% growth year over year, is all because of SheEO and the support that they've given me. And I'll tell you, that's not too bad coming from, you know, a crock pot in my kitchen to where I am now. It would utterly be impossible without SheEO. So the business resources you're gonna get, and also can I talk about the personal resources? Because to me, SheEO is my chosen family. So not only, you know, are we talking to these big, powerful people in the world and trying to make change, but when like my cat passed away, the compassion that I got and the love on these calls, and when I'm having a bad day, like very often we all get together and we cry together, and instead of being seen as weakness, this is some of the strength that SheEO is giving us all and building this community, which is so important right now. I'm starting to learn that this idea of self-care is not sustainable. And again, getting back to like, we all feel guilt about not, you know, giving ourselves self-care. Well, maybe it's actually community care we need. And SheEO is that community. So I cannot tell you the change that it's made in my life, but I could talk all hour, but I won't. And I'll pass it back to Cheney.
Yeah. Do you have a ask, Patrice, for Satya?
Yeah, if anybody happens to know a direct buyer at Holt Renfrew, I'd be super happy to hear that.
Awesome. So if you do happen to know someone, I believe Patrice's contact is in the chat. I'm going to repost it right now. So there you go. Okay. All right. Now I'd love to invite Nalini Saxena to share a few words as well. She's a SheEO activator of ours. Nalini, over to you.
Hi, Chenny. Thank you. My name is Nalini Saxena. Nice to meet everyone here. I'm so delighted to meet so many of you for the first time and to see some of the old faces among the activators and ventures as well. I'm based in New York City. I'm really happy to be here. I am a small business owner. I run a consulting company and we also do coaching. I have been so excited about SheEO and so excited about activating right from the get-go, right when I first learned about it. I'm going to share with you a few points on why. I was going to do it differently, but Jesse and I decided we're going to improvise a little. So I'm going to show you cards. So the first one is justice. I've been a justice warrior pretty much my whole life. I've always been the one to like make some noise and raise my hand, make a ruckus. And for me, everything about SheEO has been about leveling the playing field and then some. And so that's one of the things that immediately drew me, immediately appealed to me. Vicky talked about radical generosity. In my work and in my whole life, I've been led by behavioral neuroscience as well as business. These are two common themes for me. Radical generosity for me is the opposite of stinginess. It's abandoning, limiting thinking, limiting patterns of being and beliefs. And this is something that I always encourage people to step in with. And it's just so wonderful that Vicky has coined this term, and this is our motto here at SheEO. Next point is receiving. So many of us have a challenge when it comes to actually receiving things. where sometimes easier in the giving and stepping into receiving has been a challenge. So I just want to encourage everyone here to lean into receiving in every way that you can, because it makes people feel good to be able to give. And stepping into receiving is one of the best ways that you can actually learn to step into your power and grow. Finally, or second to last, I must not be the only person here who loves Bridget Jones's Diary. Okay, apparently I'm in the minority here, but there's a scene where Mr. Darcy says to her, "I like you just the way you are." And Vicki talked about being here on your own terms. I love the SheEO community because you can show up here just the way you are. So however you identify, however it is that you belong in the world, whatever industry you're in, whatever space you're in, whatever stage you are in development, this is how we love for you to show up, just the way you are. And finally, I get a lot of energy. I'm very energized from all of these conversations. I'm inspired so much by our wonderful ventures, by our activator community, and I always walk away with a lot of creative energy. And so those are my reasons for activating for the fourth time. I'm happy to talk to anybody who has any questions. I'm going to drop into the chat a few ways that you can connect with me, and I look forward to chatting with you. I'll pass it back to Chen.
Thank you so much. And I love the points that you raised around asking for help and receiving help, and how difficult that can be, which is a great segue to our Ask and Give breakouts. So this is an opportunity for you to practice radical generosity and also receiving that radical generosity as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to break out into smaller groups, and essentially the questions are: one, do you have an ask? Is there anything that you need help with? And two, do you have a give? Is there any support that you can offer? And if this is your first time on this call, it's also a great opportunity for any of our guests to ask any questions you might have about activating or applying as a venture as well. We're gonna come back together at in about 20 to 25 minutes. We're gonna come back together, and then we're gonna share back just a quick summary of the conversation in 3 words, and then we'll close. All right, so over to you, Jessie.
Thank you so much, Jenny. Very excited that this is the first time we have a full 25 minutes for our breakouts, which I'm sure all the facilitators will be thrilled to hear. So we have 6 to 7 people in each breakout group. We're going to open up the rooms now, and you will see a link at the top of your Zoom to join your breakout where your facilitator will meet you. Thank you so much, everyone. See you in a bit.
Yes, it was very fast, even though we had the full time. I'm sure some of you felt the same way. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just provide a 3-word summary of the conversation. If we can share it in the chat, that would be great. Okay, so we got some thinking big together, systemic change, supportive, visionary, caring, heard, connection, learning. I love it. Also, a quick reminder as well that to share your, to save the chat as well in case you shared any contact information or anything like that, just because after this call closes, you may not be able to access that anymore. So just make sure you scroll up and copy that over. But really briefly before we move on, does anyone want to share a quick reflection from the breakouts? Feel free to just unmute yourself.
I'll jump in, Jenny. It's BBG. So what I want to share is that I was hoping this would happen again. It's happened in breakouts before where we literally solve everybody's problem. I think there's one that we might not have, but we sort of know how to connect. And so that's what happened in our breakout rooms, which is always awesome to see.
I love it, solving everyone's problems. So great. Okay, and I just want to pass it back to Patrice, who's going to make a quick ask as well.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thanks again, Jenny, for bringing me back. I just want to tell people that this is something, signing up as an activator is something you will absolutely never ever regret. Don't overthink it. Get out your credit card, put the $79 on your credit card. I mean, don't spend it on Amazon, spend it on yourself, spend it on what is going to change things for your business, for your family, for your daughters, for your community at large. Now is the time that we are trying to build a new world, and SheEO has the vision, and every single woman in these rooms are magic, and you need to be a part of that. So please come and join us.
Thanks, Patrice. And some closing words from Jessie as well.
Thank you, Chenny. So yes, we'd love to invite you to join the Activator community, and also for all of the entrepreneurs on the call, our deadline to apply as a venture is this upcoming Monday, November 2nd. So please, please, we'd love to see your venture application. It's super easy to apply, just 10 questions, no pitch decks, no jargon, no attachments. Everyone who applies gets personalized feedback on their application, and also a chance to put an ask out to the SheEO community. And as I'm sure you experienced on your breakout groups, there is such a spirit of generosity, radical generosity here. So we would love to support you as a venture applicant and as an activator. So I just have a few housekeeping things. We'd love to hear your interest if you are looking to get involved with the SheEO community. I just launched a Zoom poll, which you'll now see on your screen. There's 2 simple questions. The first is, how would you like to participate? Let us know through this poll if you'd like to activate, if you'd like to apply as a venture, and if you'd like to reactivate. Reminder that you can be both an activator and a venture in the same year. And the second question is for guests who are here new to SheEO. If anyone has questions about activating, let us know if you'd like to set up a one-on-one call with an existing activator, and we'd love to get that set up for you. The deadline to activate, if you would like to participate in voting, which starts next Friday, November 6th, is on Monday, but you can activate afterwards as well. And just know that the earlier you activate, the sooner and immediately you will have access to our amazing community of radically generous women. So I just wanted to show everyone, for those who are interested in activating, what it looks like when you sign up. So a very, very quick walkthrough. So here is the link to sign up, community.sheeo.world. Caitlin's going to add the link in the chat. When you open up this webpage, first you'll see the SheEO Credo, which really summarizes what our community is all about. You'll see right here in the Credo, if you need something, ask. If you have something to give, please offer it. So thank you all, especially shout out to our guests for stepping into that today, and a new experience for many. So all you'll do is enter your name and your email. You'll receive a link in your inbox. So there is a 2-step verification process. And then just use the link in your email to complete your activator profile and select your payment option. So there's 3 payment options. The first is monthly payments, as mentioned. It's a really great option, especially if you are earlier stage entrepreneur, for example. It's $92 a month or 71 pounds per month. And you can also select a one-time 1,100 or 850 pounds, or sign up for annual auto renewal. And what's really great about being in our virtual world, as opposed to when we used to do a lot of in-person events, is that we're all already at our computers. And so activating is truly easier than ever before. It's right at your fingertips, just a few steps away. And as Patrice mentioned, it's a decision you'll never regret. It's the best $92 or 71 pounds per month you can spend to activate for a better, more equitable and sustainable world. So as soon as you activate, as a reminder, you'll be invited to join. We host weekly activator support calls. We have a thriving online community with a searchable directory where you can search by industry, location, company, thousands of women in our global community. And we also have an ask and give platform that you can ask for help and offer your support on as well. And as Vicky mentioned earlier, no guilt when it comes to SheEO. We have to say that a lot for it to start to internalize, but as an activator, your contribution is really on your own terms, and you can be as involved as you like. It's totally up to you. So 2 last things. We'd love to hear your feedback on today's call. Caitlin's going to add the link to the feedback form in the chat. And last but not least, we love to take a group photo at the end of our call. So if this is your first time taking this group photo. You may have seen these on LinkedIn, perhaps your friend tagged you. I'm gonna open up my screen here. We'd love to see how you're feeling right now. Some of you are already getting ready. We often do hearts or hands up in the air. Are you feeling inspired or energized or like you were in a big virtual hug? So we have 4 screens. So this is going to be the first screen on the count of 1, 2, 3. And then the second screen on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And the third screen. On this screen, we have Annalise, Lori, Deirdre. 1, 2, 3. And then the final screen. So many radically generous women. Alrighty, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you all. Passing it back to you, Jenny.
Yeah, thanks, Jessie. Just really quickly, if you are a venture and you are considering applying to be a SheEO venture, don't worry about all the requirements, and don't worry if you are a fit, really. As long as you're working on helping humanity in some way, just apply. Like, worst case scenario, you're gonna get some amazing feedback, and best case scenario, you're gonna get funded. So it's pretty much a win-win scenario. And it is so short. Like, there's literally no deck. There's no paragraphs. Like, you can do this in bullet points, you know, like it's really, really, really easy. So yeah, so highly encourage it. If you're not sure whether or not you should apply, just apply. It'll be great, I promise. Okay. And then also, one thing I also wanted to say, as a venture, even if you don't get selected, there is value in becoming an activator for the purpose of your business, because you have a searchable directory of women who want to help you. $92 a month for a bunch of women to help you is like pretty good return. So just saying, don't be afraid to reach out to people. I have definitely scrolled through the directory to be able to find someone that I think may be able to help with a specific ask that I have. And there's something magic where it's just where you can say, hey, I'm a fellow SheEO activator. I have a thing. Can you help me? You know, you're gonna get a way higher chance of a response than a LinkedIn message or anything else. So I would really encourage you to leverage the network as a venture as well, even if you don't get selected. Okay. So with that, that is a wrap, and that's our time today together. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming, and I wish you a lovely day. Take care.
Thanks, guys. And thanks for sending me the
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Be well.